Hey guys, welcome to Top Percentile. Today we have a very special guest with us. He's one of our students, so welcome Praful. He is one of the students in M.Sc Finance at JBIMS, and he's converted his internship at HDFC Bank. So he's got a PPO from that, and this role is at par with the ones that you get at M.M.S as well. So congratulations, Praful. How does it feel, firstly, to have cracked that? Because from what I've heard, it's a really good role and something that's very exciting. So if you can talk a bit about your background, how it feels to be in JB, just a short introduction, it'll be great.
Hi, Anay. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Talking about my background, I come from a research background. I am a BSMS graduate from ISER Pune,
Nice.
where I majored in mathematics. And most of my work in my research days was inclined towards analytics. And that is what also helped me crack this SDFC role because I worked in the credit analytics and innovation department. So,
Right.
my project at SDFC was related to analytics and all the analysis which we did was being used for product development. So it was a very interesting role, and I had a great time interning at SGFC.
That is perfect. It's such a different thing when you find someone from mathematics, right? Just a short leeway to that. But how did you select mathematics? Like, how had that happened for you in life?
When I was in 10th, all of my friends were preparing for engineering. I also was preparing for engineering along with them. So I had got into some decent colleges for engineering, but then I had always loved mathematics in school. Like since sixth, seventh standard, I used to participate in all the competitive exams. And in 11th standard, I had also cracked the International Mathematics Olympiad until the India level. So that
Nice.
is somewhere I developed my love for mathematics. And
Right.
then when I got a chance, when I converted ISER Pune, when I thought that I have a chance to study this subject in more depth at ISER, that's why I chose ISER over other engineering colleges which I had gotten.
Honestly, it's really refreshing to find new and different profiles other than just typical engineers in all these colleges. I feel like it makes a very big difference, especially math. I feel like I used to love math a lot. Like I've always loved it all my life, but I never could pursue it to the depth that I would have wanted to. And it's great to have someone who's gone through it and at least gone for their passion and made sure that that is something that they're doing. That's really good. So full kudos to you, and I'm glad it helped you out in your M.Sc finance.
Yeah,
That's more important because
yeah.
it's helping you. But coming to one question that we get asked a lot, I'm sure you are also constantly asked this question, but how is M.Sc finance? Like how does the process work? We'll start off with a simple question, right? So what's admission like? Like when it starts from applying for M.Sc finance till you get in, what is that process like?
It's a basic four-step process. First and foremost, you have to write CET, of course, and you
Right.
have to wait for your result. And for CET, I think there are set cutoffs above which an applicant can apply for the shortlisting for the next steps. So after you are shortlisted, all the candidates who are shortlisted, they go through a three-step process. First will be a VAT, writing aptitude test,
Right.
and this the topics can vary from anything. Like for example, I remember I had got a topic which was on Industry 4.0,
Oh,
whereas a few of my friends had got a topic on why exactly you want to do MSc Finance. So
right.
there's not one particular aspect, or since it's MSc Finance, the topic will be related to finance only. It's nothing like that.
Correct.
But it can be anything. It's a short 300-word essay, and you get 15 to 20 minutes to complete it.
Nice.
After that, you will have a GD and a group discussion in which there will be around 12 to 15 people in each panel, and there will be two moderators. Again, the topics can vary anywhere. Like for example, I had a topic on is India ready for electric vehicles?
Nice.
And since I had a background of studying a little bit of sustainable development goals in my master's thesis project, that helped me during my GD as well. So I was
Nice.
able to contribute a lot. So, and after the GD is done, you have your personal interview, of course. A personal interview can range anywhere from 5 minutes to 30 minutes, and it depends on the panelists who are taking your interview. And after that, there are eight things which actually matter to get a cumulative score: your
Okay.
10th, 12th, graduation, your work X, then your CET marks, and then again VAT, PI, and GD. All these eight things are considered, everything has a weightage, and after that, they give you a cumulative score, and depending on that score, you convert.
Actually, really interesting. In JBIMS for the M.M.S batch, it's just CET ले लो और
Yeah,
mark आया तो अंदर ले जाओ. But I feel like when you study like this, when you have such a rigorous admission process, you're automatically ready for summers. You're automatically
yes,
ready to tackle anything that a company can ask you. And in M.M.S and other programs, you are expected to do that along with studying. So in this
yeah,
case, I suppose even for other IMs and CAT, etc., you do it before getting in. in your case as well, you would have done before that. So
Right.
if an aspirant had to ask you how they should prepare for this, what would you suggest? Is it just general based reading and be updated with information, or is it
Yeah.
just be interested about things in general? What do you suggest?
So for VAT and GD, as I said, you should prepare on some general topics. You should have an idea of how to go about any general topic.
Right,
Also, of course, be updated with the news, because there can be a topic which can be picked up from whatever is happening in the recent times. Talking about the interview, there is one question which they're definitely going to ask you: is why MSc over MBA,
right,
and why MSc Finance over MBA Finance? So you
right,
have to be prepared with these two questions. And other than this, it can be a general interview. They can ask you about anything. Like, for example, in my case, my interview started with simple questions like what is repo rate and what is reverse repo rate. And
right,
then I was asked what is going on in the Indian financial market. So the time I gave interview, Nika and Paytm's IPO was a very hot topic. So
correct,
I mentioned that. Then I was asked a few questions on IPO and how the listing is done. So that, and it's okay if you don't know questions, because I remember there were two questions back to back for which I said, "Sorry, ma'am, I don't know."
right,
Whereas the reply of the professor was that it's okay, you're joining the course to study that. So
right.
you don't need to have in-depth knowledge of all the finance things, finance aspects, finance topics. But of course, having a general idea of basic things will always help you in the interview.
That makes sense. It's good to know that there are interviewers who are kind in that sense, and
Yeah,
I'm happy with this. But I feel like when it comes to professional things, people value honesty over making a random answer and trying to just apply to something
exactly.
that, yeah, ye maine ye suna hai, but it's better to just say that you don't know and you like to read about it. So I think that's a really good takeaway from this. When it comes to the fees and the course structure, is it very different from the M.M.S one? Because for us, it was around 6 lakhs that we had paid for over
Mhm.
2 years, and our course structure is divided into 4 semesters. And the first one, like a normal MBA, it's the first year is common for all, but all branches, and second year is a specialization. But in your case, since you are already specialized in finance, how does it work for you exactly over time?
Yeah, so fees, we also have, like, for my batch, it is 6 lakhs for 2 years. Both the years
Right,
combined, you have to pay for the first year in the beginning while taking
right,
admission, and for the second year in the beginning of the second year. Course
correct.
structure is also same. We also have 4 semesters of 6 months each, and summer internship after the second semester.
Right,
Talking about the courses, yes, as you said, as we are already specializing in finance, we have subjects related only to finance. We don't have any other subject related to marketing, operations, sales. We don't have anything like that. But in the first semester only, we start doing accounting, basic courses which are required. Basically,
right, correct.
we get a background. So basically, if you're coming from a commerce background, a lot of the basic understanding you would already have. But that is required for people who don't come from commerce background. So first semester is very general stuff, but in the second semester, it starts getting more rigorous. We have courses like investment banking, corporate finance, corporate governance,
Right.
and all these courses are there. And then, of course, we don't have any electives. As I feel that in M.M.S, I think
Yeah,
you would have electives in the third
yes,
and fourth semester.
correct, almost, yeah,
We don't have electives. We have a set decided curriculum, which is also mentioned in the brochure.
yeah,
So in the third semester, we have courses like mergers and acquisitions. Then we have portfolio management in the fourth semester. So basically, all the courses are finance centric only. Since we are
right,
studying in finance, everything is related to finance.
right, right. And these courses that you mentioned, they're taught by the same teachers, right? It's the same. What's the faculty like here? Like, how is it different for you?
So yeah, most of the faculties, they are the same. Like if to name a few, Tineka sir taught us investment
Right.
banking in the second semester, and I think he teaches the same in the third semester for M.M.S.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now in the third semester we have Fakir sir for mergers and acquisitions. I think is the same for you guys as well.
Yes. He's one of the greats at JB. So,
Yeah, he is the best professor for me
yeah,
until now.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, most of the faculties are same. I think for a few courses like corporate governance or regulatory, which are the courses you might not have, for
Correct.
those courses we have different faculties. But other than that, faculties is almost the same.
Okay, that makes sense. So the brochure that you mentioned, that will be available on the website, right? So we'll
Yeah,
put,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The updated brochure is mentioned. It's available on the website, and even everything related to the course, even for the selection criteria, how much weightage is given for what particular thing, everything is mentioned in the brochure. So if you have any doubts, you will get it clarified from the brochure.
Perfect. That makes sense. So we'll leave a link in the description so they can just click on it and go there. But I
Yeah,
remember reading this brochure when I was applying to JBIMS. I had read the brochure and I'd seen each and everything related to finance like from the start. And then
yeah,
when I opened my CFA book, it is exactly the same. I feel,
yes,
and every time I mention the CFA curriculum is one of the top notch curriculums that I've seen in things, and I saw the same curriculum here, so I was like, wow, this is really cool.
yeah. So if you're someone who is very keen on doing finance, like
Right,
even while doing an MBA, you're very sure that you're going to major in finance. MSc Finance is a great option because, as you mentioned about CFA, after starting in the first semester, there are like more than 10, 12 people who think about CFA, and 5, 6 people are going to write CFA in the coming like
right,
6 months. So basically, in the February in the third semester. So
right,
CFA is something that the course structure is very much aligned with CFA. All the courses which you do in the first and second semester are there with that. Those are the ones you are going to cover in the first level of CFA. In fact,
right.
even for our
Yep,
exams,
exactly.
there were some questions we were practicing from CFA books.
Oh
The
wow.
course structure is very similar to CFA.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was exactly that because you're almost already getting prepared for a global exam, and I feel like a
Right.
global exam is huge value
Yeah.
on your CV and resume because if you have L1 also, it's a big
Yes.
thing for
Yes.
your CV and pushes you forward. And then L2, L3 becomes even better if you have it. So
Yeah.
definitely a big advantage that you get by studying it in the curriculum itself.
Yeah.
But
We
I think
already have like 2 to 3 people who are CFA level 1. There
right,
are quite a few who are going to write it, as I said, and we also
right,
have
right,
level
right.
2 candidate in our batch right now.
Yeah. I remember there's this guy in JP Morgan whose name is Ryan. He was in MSc Finance, and I remember
Yeah.
his CV had literally everything. His work ex from so many years. I think he's done
Yeah.
2 or 3 degrees. Then he's in MSc Finance, and now he's in JP Morgan. So
Right.
it's insane. It's good how it's working out for people.
Yeah.
But I think that's the questions for the MSc Finance part of it. We'll move on to the CET specific journey because even in CET you've scored pretty well. So let's focus on that. What was CET like for you? Where what had you let's just start with the basic question, right? What was the CET specific prep that you had done? What was your MBA journey like till that point?
Uh, so this story is almost 2 years old now. Remember November
For
of
me as
20.
well, it's become we've grown quite old since we took exams now.
Yeah. So November 2020 was my CAT attempt. So I was still in college. So to speak, I'm a fresher. I graduated from ISER in 2021.
Okay,
So the 2020 attempt was my first attempt at CAT. And so I had a list of colleges which I was targeting. And JBIMS was, of course, one of them, but all the other colleges were through CAT. So I
right,
prepared for CAT. And along with that, I was also working on my thesis project, master's thesis project at ISER. So
right,
it was a little tricky to manage both the things, but I remember I gave a proper 2 3 months prep for CAT, and then whatever score I got, in by the time February came in, we were not sure of how CET is going to happen.
of course,
So
yeah,
by
right,
February, all the calls for CAT colleges were already out, and I was expecting a few calls, but I did not get those calls, so I shifted my focus towards CET prep.
right,
So February was the time when I gave my first mock,
okay,
and I didn't score very good in it. I scored 101 marks, I remember.
right.
And so
I
CET
think a
is
lot of people will say 101 is excellent to score in the first mock itself. So, but you have a
no,
math
but
quiz here, so who are we? We need to have our expectations in line as well.
yeah. But then CET is supposed to happen in March every year, as everyone knows. But then, of course, this was 2021 February, and there was no news of CET. And for me, May was my final submission of my thesis as well. So I was very much
Right.
crunched between giving time there and here. And I think luck played out well for me here because I said February I gave my first, March I gave my second mock, and my third mock I gave directly in June.
Wow.
So I had a very big gap. So 25th May, I submitted my thesis, final submission, and I took 1 week break from that. And
Right.
in June, I started my full-fledged prep for CET. So you can say I had prepared for June, July, and more than half of August I was not well.
Oh,
So
that.
I have prepared for CET for 2.5 months, give or
Okay.
take.
Right.
And it was all mocks, all through mocks.
That's crazy. It's a good journey that you've had so far. But just for context, in his year, CET happened in September. Like I
Yeah,
think September 16th, 17th, 18th were the days that
yes,
happened. And in my year, it was March, March
yes.
2020. So that's how different it was for the last 2 years. This is for people who are new to CET, the CET amateurs now, because we've seen 3 years of this now. It's been
Yeah.
pretty crazy. But that also reminds me, in your year, it was the first year to have a jumbled pattern, right?
Yes.
What happened there? How did you react to it? What was your reaction to it? Was crazy, right? It was
Yes.
absolute mayhem for people who were taking it the first time. So, what was it like for you?
So it was so I was a little bit prepared for it mentally because see all the mocks I gave all were section wise,
Correct.
but my exam was on first day itself, 16th of September, and in the second slot, and
Oh,
I had made that decision that I'm not going to talk to anyone in the first slot
right.
because that is going to give that
Yes,
is going
yes,
to have
yes.
some effect on your thought process.
Definitely.
But what happened is on 15th there was an MCA exam,
Okay.
and MCA they had got a jumbled pattern. So
Ah,
I had got this idea. I even talked to one of the teachers at a coaching class about this, and
right.
he was very much sure that jumbled pattern is not going to come. MCA is different
Ah,
from MBA CET.
of
Please
course.
don't care about it, etc. etc. So I was like, I went with my section wise plan only.
Right.
But then when I saw the pattern, when I browsed to the first five questions, I understood this is jumbled wise pattern. So
Correct.
I had only one thing in mind that I have to run.
Right.
And for every 30 minutes, I have to see 50 questions. So
Right.
according to that, you complete 120 minutes and then you come back to the remaining questions in the remaining 30
That's
minutes.
perfect. Right.
So there's only run, solve the question if you can get it in less than 30 seconds, 45 seconds.
Correct.
Otherwise, leave it for second round. So this
Correct.
is what I'd done for my exam.
And that makes a lot of sense. I think the people who had this mentality were the only ones who were able to get through it and get through good colleges in the end. Because if
Yeah.
you're not ready to attempt and run through the paper the way you said it, I think that's where the paper ended for people. So when it
Yeah.
came to a jumbled pattern, did you change your sectional strategy? Were you just attempting like did you change your rounds rather? How were you selecting questions or it was just minutes now?
Okay, so when I was preparing, when I was writing mocks, I never did the rounds pattern.
Okay.
I'm a section guy. I'll complete a particular section in the particular time,
Got
and I'll also attempt the flukes in that time period only. I'll not come back for flukes as well.
right, right, right.
But for the final exam, of course, I had to change my strategy. I was not looking at sections specifically. I was just looking at the question, and as I said, under 30, 45 seconds, if I'm able to do it,
Got
I'll
it.
put, others I'll just leave it for the second round. So
Makes
it
sense.
was a very drastic change for me, but
Right.
then hopefully I did it good.
Of course, you've done a good job because you've got to where you wanted. The point in the
Uh,
end in life, I feel like it's always about doesn't matter what's on your CV, it matters where you are currently and what you've done to get there. And if you've reached that point where you know you're happy with it and you can see a path forward, I think that's all that matters. The rest
right.
of it doesn't matter, right? So it's great that you've scored this much and you were able to get through. But what I want to ask is when it came to motivation, because you had firstly, how many mocks did you take total? Like from there were two
Uh,
mocks in Feb and March, one in
yeah.
June. Then after that till September.
I took more than 50 mocks. I mean, give or take
Wow.
around 50, 60 mocks for
Right.
sure.
So you were actually running before the exam. You were running
Yeah,
through.
yeah, yeah.
You were constantly
I
running. Right.
remember after thesis submission, all my friends were partying,
Ah,
traveling, but then I was very much focused on this exam, and I used to write a mock every day, and
right.
I made it to a point that I am not going to sleep before I analyze the mock.
Got it.
And in the analysis also, it means going through each and every question again and again. And
Right.
I remember they announced that CET will happen on the given dates like 1 week before. So
Yes.
during that time, I used to write two mocks every day and
Right.
analyze both of them. So
Got
in the last few days, I wrote two mocks each. So I am very sure that I don't have the exact number, but more than 50 for sure.
That's fine. That's what this is. It's, I feel like the magic number is 35, 40
Yeah,
plus. Keep going ahead of that. If you're
yeah,
able to do that, I think you end up knowing what CET is about and actually
yes.
having a strategy for yourself. Like YouTube पे सब लोग बात करते रहते हैं, but वो अंदर से जब आता है, that is
Uh,
when you know कि अभी comfort आ गया है, थोड़ा तो आ
yes.
गया है अभी यहाँ से. But when it comes to, as you mentioned, your friends are partying outside, they were going enjoying themselves. How did you motivate yourself to study at that point of time? What did you do there?
Okay, so my motivation was a little different from a lot of people. Uh,
Right.
a lot of people would have that JB name tag, everything. My motivation was hostel. I
Ah,
mean, I had to find something to motivate myself.
correct.
For those of you who don't know, so JBIMS provides hostel for people who are not from Bombay,
Yes.
and also there's a cutoff. So for M.M.S, it's 25 people. From M.Sc Finance, it's 10 people from every year. So
Right.
and you get those seats based on your marks.
Right.
So I mean, people are going to find it funny, but I had written this on my screen on my mobile wallpaper that Marine Lines pe rahega tu, JBIMS jayega tu.
Nice.
So
I like
this
it.
is where that motivation from, and I in fact I have changed it right now to whatever I have my
Next
dreams
goal.
ahead.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but then staying on marine, like living on marine lines for 2 years in the hostel, having a feel of South Bombay, that was something which motivated me, because I feel now as I'm living in hostel right now, there's a lot of motivation for your career as well there. Like there are so many companies which have their offices there. You get to see a lot of people's. I mean, just the lifestyle around there. So I have lived in Bombay before JBIMS. I've lived in Bombay for 2.5 years.
Okay.
So I knew about the lifestyle. But then, of course, South Bombay was something interesting.
Yeah.
Staying in hostel at Marine Lines was something another very good feeling.
Yeah.
So just to give a context, I can see the sea from my balcony at JBIMS, from at my hostel. So
Right.
that was something that could be kept as a motivation.
It is crazy. I've seen the hostel and the view from there is insane. Like it is, I think
Yeah,
it's the best thing if you're able to crack it. And because it's so few, you are one of the rare people who've got a chance to live there. And who knows who's the alumni before
yeah,
living there. But no, I really appreciate what you mentioned, because I think keeping that goal in front of your head, always working towards it, matters a lot. You
yeah.
always need to be updated with what you're doing and keep doing that. And staying in South Bombay, I think if there's a place you want to live in South Bombay, and
Once in a lifetime opportunity.
exactly. And the rent also, that it's crazy if you're able to stay in South Bombay and that rent. It's insane how you're managing this.
Right.
That's perfectly great. It's genuinely one of the perfect things that have worked out for you. So congratulations on that. But
Thank
that's all the questions I have for you. But thank you so much for taking time out. It's Diwali. It's around the time of Diwali. So thank you for taking time from family activities and everything. I really appreciate taking time out for the channel. Any
Thank you for
one
having.
last message
Yeah.
you want to give to the TDP audience? If there's anything you want to mention to them, please just one sentence or anything you want to say, just go for it.
Uh, just keep on working hard. Just do your questions. So, I'll give you a very small example. I used to solve questions first thing before even I did brushing of my teeth. I mean, in the morning when I used to get up, there are various websites which I think already are mentioned on the channel, like Government Adda or
Correct.
24/7. They have this short quizzes of 20 questions each, which are 15
Right.
minutes, 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
So the first thing before even doing anything, once I used to get up in the morning, I used to do that quiz. So like full day, I used to keep on practicing. So
Correct.
whatever time you get, just practice as many questions as you can, and don't be demotivated by your marks. As I said, the first test was 101, but my second test in March, I have scored 86 marks. So that
Correct.
is going to happen. Your marks are going to come down. Your marks are going to get stagnant, but just keep on solving. Even for puzzles, puzzles are something which a lot of people are scared of.
Yeah.
But you should just. I remember I guess I have solved more than 1,000 puzzles for sure. I had
Wow.
a specific notebook where I had numbered the puzzles,
Wow.
and there are a lot of channels who do puzzles, just puzzles every day in the videos, like 4 to 5
Correct.
puzzles. So just go through those, solve puzzles every day for sure, like at least 10, 12 puzzles every day, and 20 math problems, QA problems every day. That's going to take you a lot ahead in your preparation. So just keep on practicing and don't be demotivated by your marks. You're going to reach your goals.
Perfect. That was, I mean, I can't put it any better than what Praful has said right now. But it's been amazing having you, Praful. It's always so nice talking to you. We've spoken a couple of times on call. It's been
Yeah.
so good always. I think it always goes on to like an hour of talking with something or the other. We always have things to share. But
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking time out, Praful. We really
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
But yeah, we hope this is useful for you guys. See you in the next one, and thank you so much, Praful, once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
See you guys.